Hello, this is William Blackman from ChessFusion.com. I'm going to talk about a game I played against a young rising star, Kenneth Zhao. And the reason why I'm going to show this game because it has lots of instructional value about errors and not finding the right plan and some common tactics as well. So let's get started. I like to play knight f3 versus most juniors because they're not really prepared and the coaches really don't study that much against knight f3. And it usually turns into an English or a queen's gambit or some type of ready. So let's see how the game develops. Just fighting for control of the center. And both sides are developing pretty logically. But this is the first tactic. You must be careful when pinning the queen's knight on g4 and your knight's not developed to g6. Now if king takes the bishop, I just simply knight check and I'm already up a pawn and I'm ready to play castles, knight to c3, and I have a clear pawn edge. Kenneth chose a very interesting move here, king to d7, which sort of confused me, and so that sort of gave him a psychological edge. I like king d7 a lot, so let's see how I handled it. I figured I just have a pawn, I should grab some more space with d4 in the center. He takes, ruins my pawn structure, and now he tries to hide his king. I continue to support my center, activate his queen, support my bishop. Now he gets this nice e5 square for the knight. Now here, I should probably do what most coaches tell you to do early in the game before the first 12 moves, castle. Although I have a hold, black forces are undeveloped. The bishop, knight, and rook are all on their original square, and I have enough forces to prevent any type of checkmate that he may try. He may try to activate his pieces a little bit with a6 and throw some pawns. I don't want to take that pawn and open up the g file to my king. Instead, I want to continue to develop and pressure his king. And at this point, I'm prepared to play moves like knight to c4, king to g2, even bishop to d4, or bishop to c5 in some cases, and just increase my advantage. I'm going back. And if I don't castle, I should at least develop my knight to c3. Play g6, f4, knight d7, and e5 is a nice little win of the knight. So if he doesn't play g6, he gives queen to a6, trying to stop me from castling, and play queen to e2. Now if he tries to check, simply step to f1, again the pawn of storm, and I could just attack it and trade down to a very comfortable endgame where I win the rook on a8 by force. Okay, but back to queen to a6. Queen to a6. He just takes it. Take. The king supports the pawn. It's not doing much else in this middle game. And I'm better developed and I should go on to win this game. But I didn't either. I tried to get tricky and I went for a checkmate on e8 here with queen to a4. Knight f6, he's getting kind of developed. I should pay attention. I play f4 with the idea of e5. This knight check, I just made a rush move, which you should never do. You should always take your time. I saw that he could take the pawn on f4. I saw this check, but I figured I'd play e5 and I win the piece. If I go to, I went king e2 in the game, but if I play king to d2 or king to f1, knight takes doesn't work because of this. And I win the pawn, and if he tries to get the material back, he ends up getting checkmated himself or lose a loss of a lot of material. It's going to be hard for him to stop the loss of the A8 rook and the mate on D7. The mate on C8 is just too much. But back to what I did in the game, King E2. Now when he takes the pawn, this would check. So now I'm just forced to trade off my bishop pair and grovel from an even position. Gives all the pressure you can. Now I should play rook to F1, but I'm sort of trying to home in on the C7 square because if I can get something on the C7, maybe I could take on B7 and possibly find checkmate. Knight E8, he supports the C7 pawn. I support my F2 pawn. Takes extra pawn. Why not? Try to close the queen out. Check, which is one of Kenneth's later errors because it allows me to bring my bishop back. And now Kenneth should go queen H4. Knight F1. Rook takes. And just play this position, which is roughly equal. Both have a minor piece and a rook, fairly active queens that could be traded off right now. C7 is well guarded, and when it's all said and done, black is up a pawn. Instead, Kenneth plays the queen back to H2. And I blunder with my tunnel vision, continuing with a bad plan. I played rook to C7, and I guess I was just tired of waiting and committed suicide here. Had a dream of reaching C8 and B7 and queen to B4, and all these are very nice ideas, but they're unrealistic, and it's just a losing move. After the correctly resacrificing a piece, winning a rook and bishop to a bishop and knight with the extra 2 pawns is, as we say in the business, child's play. But if I play the totally calm move after the queen H2 era, which is knight to F3, queen F4 is forced, and rook to H1, hitting the bishop, the trade, bishop back, and knight to E6, I'm again comfortably in the lead. I can play rook takes pawn, although the machine is suggesting F4, H5, bishop F3, A5, and king E3 with the edge for white, but I'm pretty sure that I want to capture the pawn and go back to the F4 plan, maintaining a strong center. Because on bishop captures pawn, just going to capture pawn, and I'm just going to continue to pressure this pawn on C7, and with 7th rank dominance I should go on and win this game. Well, that's it. You can go from a winning position to a lost position to a drawn position to a winning position. The game just changes so much over the course that you should never give up and never stop fighting for the advantage. And more importantly, you should recognize when you're not winning anymore and just accept the fact and try to fight to regain the advantage that you once enjoyed out of the opening or the middle game. So there we are, kids. We learned don't pin the knight too early without the support of the F6 knight, and also to watch out for checkmates and all types of cheap tactics that may lie in the bushes. Alright, thanks for listening. This is William from chessfusion.com saying until next time, bye bye.